Hi, beautiful ones. Thank you for being with us today. We have such a beautiful topic and presence with you today that is going to bring you so much joy and support you greatly on your awakening journey and to support you being a star seed moving forward and really start shining your light on this new chapter, this new threshold. And so, welcome, Karen. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me in. I adore you. I love you. I think you're one of the best out here doing what we are doing. I honor that in you. And yeah, thank you. I'm so excited for this co-creation.
Yeah, so I just want to share everyone about my experience working with you. So I was drawn to Karen, and I think it was last year I started to work with Karen, and Karen has the most uncanny ability. I work with a lot of Akashic record readers, but she has this ability to really bring through different timelines and across multiple lifetimes. And whatever she says that is truly like spot on, that really resonate deeply. And what you do is that your energy and your heart and your team bring through the information and the guidance that actually support people to feel reassured again, to feel that we are able to build that confidence that there's always this inkling of, yeah, maybe that's what I've been feeling, but then someone just confirms and affirms so lovingly, but not as a just a comfort food, but also like really bring through a lot of future information to support us to move forward. It's like giving us the direction to really look into the timeline we are so ready and so desiring. And so I'm very excited that you are feeling called to bring through this Starseed experience, like to help. And I know with your energy, with your depth of your work, it's not about this, like even it's just the beginner of knowing you are Starseed. I feel they will get so much more. And for those people like me, I mean, I know I'm Starseed for like over a decade, and then I, done so much work, but I feel there's still so much wisdom and information you are able to pull through to support the individual. And so I'm very excited to have this conversation and then what you are bringing through. And so, having said that, I would really love you to just briefly, just to share your about yourself. So for people who are not so familiar with you yet, then they can get a sense of who you are.
Okay, thank you. And just to add on to thank you for that beautiful introduction, and to add on, all I'm able to do is actually confirm what you already know and are afraid that you might not be right about. And that's all that I'm doing, and that's why it resonates. So thank you. So for those of you who don't know me, when I was 30, I was plucked out of my life and I was given a tour of, I'm just going to call it heaven to make it easy. And while I was up there, I met with the council. They brought me up a number of times to kind of train me how it works. And at that time, they told me that I was to come down here and help teach it. I misinterpreted what they meant. And I said, No, thank you." So I chose to, I built a number of companies. Some of them were very successful, some were not. Had a lot of success because I used my psychic ability in that. And then I had, I'm going to call it a near-death experience where I was plucked back up and I was given an option to step over. And and at the time, I was just burnt out. I was tired. I just didn't want to go any longer. I was just so and I was just so unhappy. I just felt so awful. And when they said you have a chance to step over, I said, you know what? It's been a good run. I'm done. And they said, okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to show you what's going to happen to the people you're leaving behind. And I looked at it and like, oh, dang it, I can't do that.
Mm.
And so I said, nope, I'll go ahead and stay, whatever. And they actually showed me the life that I'm living right now. And this is what they meant, that I was to teach spirituality. I was to teach how to create. I was to teach how to get happy, how to get all the goodies and all the wonderful stuff that you want. So I'm here now. The other thing that happened with me, I remember being told that I'm just gonna, oh no, you're a Pleiadian. You're definitely a Pleiadian. And it was very confusing to me because I had been invited to a Pleiadian ship. I've had a tour. I've been to the Pleiadian ships a couple of times. I've also been to the Arcturian ships. And I've been to a third one that I haven't, I don't know who it was. And so I was always really confused when people were like, oh no, you're a this, you're a that. And it's like, why am I going to all these other ships? And I think that that's all kind of coming together now. And the way that it's coming together is if you are on the planet at this time, you chose to be here. You are spiritually elite. You're meant to be here. You're meant to bring in all of your wisdom, and you have agreements with your star families as to what you are going to heal for your star family. For the rest of the star, the little star seeds here. And once you remember your gifts, remove the challenges, you move on to the next one. And so that's what this whole program that I'm doing about is, I'm covering six of the star families, what your huge gift is, what the challenge is coming down here, how to overcome and heal the challenge so you can just take on the next challenge. So,
Yeah, well, love the
yeah,
challenges.
right when they're done, when they're complete.
Right, right. So that's the question actually. I think I feel like, because we are going through different consciousness over the last 2 decades. So it feels like a lot of information were revealed to human bit by bit, right? Through different pioneer, different channelers. And all of a sudden the last decade, I feel like so many people started to bring through even more information. So it's so I feel like the beginning of the awakened journey is like, oh, I am a star seed. And then so people are so excited to identify like, oh, who am I? And like you said, I feel very often like Palladian seems to be very prominent for the last 2 decades. And then all of a sudden, what my experience is that I found out, okay, I'm Arcturian, and then there's Sirian, Orion, because I think Orion is also because I know it's not in the six family you talk about, right?
No, it's not in one of them that I am covering right now. I will probably cover it later on because it's very fascinating
Yeah, but I actually wanted
and
to.
very important. Yeah,
Yes, it's very important for what we've been working through. But what
yeah.
I love about what you are bringing through of this six family, and you will introduce us, is that I feel right now like the time we are walking through, right? This Aquarius and this new portal of it's almost like the beginning of new Earth. It feels like.
Yes.
So we have done so much clearing, and then it feels like this is a very important, critical, very special, exhilarating, but could be, yeah, like this period of time, these windows we're in. And so I guess my question, like you mentioned already, like I went through the stage of like I was told I was a Palladian, but even before that, I had different past life regression, and I have I went through different dimensions in the Palladian as a system, right? And I felt, and then later on, there's a different thing of I think Arcturian, and then Hathors and different. So what? How? So share with us, like, how do we see that? Like when we talk about the Starseed lineage, it's almost like which one is my lineage? I have so many, and I feel yeah, I had the confirmation or information of like I have so many more, right? So sometimes I feel a bit schizophrenic, like who am I? What am I supposed to do now? Yeah.
Well, I love this question and it's so important. And most of us have the reason why we're here now is that we have lived in most of the star families. We have gifts. We have knowledge. We are the ones, and we all know that we're here to bring peace on earth and peace into the universe. We all know that. And so the way that, number one, if you want to know what family you're working on now, um, we have a Starseed quiz and jump on, and that'll tell you what you're working on right now.
Yeah.
It kind of has to do with once you, so you came in with all of the gifts from all the star families. You came in, you knew who you were, you knew your power, you were in love with yourself, you had big visions, you were logical, you knew who you were, you knew what you loved, you knew what you were good at, and then, as was agreed upon, we all got wounded and had all that taken away. So we came in with all of with these natural gifts. But our job now, the way that we heal planet Earth and the universe at large, is we heal that wounding within ourselves. And that is what actually blankets the whole universe, planet Earth and the universe, and heals. It also, as we heal one of our things and our blanket of, I'm just going to say, love and healing goes out, everybody on the planet who is praying to be healed for clarity, for the epiphany, the healing that each and every one of us has done will be able to go in and be that miracle for that little being who feels very, very lost. And we all know what that feels like. We've been feeling very lost, so we've been kicking around, and nobody watching this is going to go, "Oh no, no, it's been easy for me." Not one of us. So we're constantly working with, and I'm going to keep it really simple. Obviously, some of us are very advanced. We're working with different star families. I'm going to keep it simple and say we kind of do one at a time.
Hmm.
And once we heal the wounding of the great challenge that we have, based on what then our natural gift comes back. And then we're able to share it. And then we literally go right on because we're all here. This is University Earth. We're all here to grow our souls. There's rarely, never been a time on planet Earth that we have had the ability to grow our soul and heal as much as we are doing right now. And that's why it just feels like, oh my God, why so much? Why so much? And in this, we have given birth to this brand new world. We're right in the midst of a huge reset. And I have seen, what they show me is you've got 0, you've got 50, you've got 100 on a little kind of, one of those little, whatever those things are called. And we have been walking forward. We have been healing. We have been trusting. We have been doing everything that we can to remember who we are, to remember the gifts that we have, and doing this all together with all of us, no matter how much darkness has been on the planet, because we're all doing this with planet Earth energy and planet Earth energy is there's the polarities are really, really confusing for most of us. If something, if something good happens, we kind of feel like we're doing well, we're in the right direction. If something bad happens, it just feels devastating. And the darkness is only there. It comes up to just remind us we're not creating what we want.
Mm.
So it'll show us what we don't want. It's not anything except send it back to the light to be transmuted and launch pad off and create what you want. Even if that's, I want to feel a little safer and I want to feel a little bit better because I'm scared. That's all. And so that polarity is really hard for a lot of star seeds. And then the other just way the planet Earth works is that there's density
Mm.
and there's lag. So we create, and then it's like, where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? Did I do it wrong? What if I did it wrong? Maybe I have to go do it. And there's just a little bit of a density. So there's a lag and a little bit of a density here that we have no memory of from being up there in our with our families, where thought is a thing, or words are a thing, we create immediately. And down here, it's like, how do I must have done it wrong. Why? Where's my stuff? Where's my goodies?
Yeah, yeah.
So, so we're working with all of that. But if you just look at it as whatever you're challenged with right now is just coming, number one, I'm just going to fell swoop it and say, whatever you're being challenged with right now has nothing to do with you not being good enough, lovable enough, worthy, none of that. Whatever you're being challenged with, they want you to just take a deep breath, accept whatever it is, and then create what you would like uh, create what you would like, create what you would like, create what you would like, and then go out into nature, go do something that you love, and get into that beautiful, beautiful, peaceful place.
Mm.
That's all we were ever meant to do.
Yeah. So I have question about different families that but while we are talking about this, I know you have a money activation for Starseed coming on Monday. And why why is money such a trouble or a challenge for Starseeds? It's almost like Starseed have a reputation. I mean, not all, right? Because I know, I guess Elon Musk is a star C and he is not lack of money, right? There are also a lot of artists, famous celebrities or wealthy people. I feel like the money is not in their main challenges, but maybe something around money. But generally in the spiritual community, star seeds seem to be struggling or have a reputation of like struggling with money, material life, even physical. Um, can you?
That is the polarity that I'm talking about, and it's
Right.
the density.
Mm,
So when you are, just know, just make darkness your friend. It's just showing you what you don't want, not what you created, not what you didn't, nothing. It's just like, nope, don't want that. Off it goes. So the reason why so many of us are, um, in this huge educational mode of understanding money is that once we're able to move the darkness out, we're able to create, we're able to create. We know that there's a lag. We know that we've created it, it's coming, surprise and delight me, let it come in. But when we do that and we continue creating our lives and we continue like, oh, wouldn't this be cool? Wouldn't this be fun? I would love this. Oh my God, this would be so the more we're able to do that without dancing in the darkness, our frequency lifts. And when our frequency lifts, the lag shortens.
Mm.
And that's where the money comes in. So the what happens is we like, okay, I need some, I need some dollars. I need some dollars. I'm short with dollars. It's like, no, I'm not short with dollars. I trust it's going to come in, and you send that back to the light. And then you like, oh, but this would be really fun, and I really want to do this. And then the darkness will come in. How are you going to afford it? You don't have enough money. It's just like, well, I'm not going to do it right now. I might do it in 10 minutes from now. Off to the light you go. You keep creating. You keep creating. You get up to that bliss. And then what happens is then the money is able to come in through the frequency. Money is energy and frequency. And we volunteered to come down here and really get wounded with that piece because I'm for most of us, it's like, if I don't have enough money, I'm gonna, die and I'm gonna starve and I'm gonna be homeless and everybody's gonna hate me and all of this scary stuff. And just that is the darkness to keep moving out to continue creating what you want.
Mm.
And once you're able to, the people that have plenty of flow coming in, constantly coming in, one thing they all have in common is they are creating what they want nonstop. Nonstop. And one might say, well, it's easy. They've got the dollars, but it has nothing to do with the dollars. It has to do with the creations.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've been actually reading a lot of books about how people start, from nothing or get fired, and then they end up creating some new business and opportunity. And I believe it takes a lot, like, different on the generation, that it took a lot of time and effort. I wanted to maybe bringing a perspective, like how, for people who identify as Starseed, or like we know we are Starseeds, how is
yeah.
I think this has to do with creating in the material world, in the sense, okay, if I know you already answered, you already started in the thread, but it's almost like when Starseed generally wanted to create, let's say, a business or a product or a book, or, I don't know. I know some people came to me like they have this idea of technology. They know a medical instrument, or they have this technology that they have it, and then they wanted to share it, but then they haven't been able to either. Like, for whatever reason, it's just like there seemed to be a hurdle from the idea to the vision. Like, um, is that specifically Starseed, or I guess this also has to do with timing and the period of time. So maybe,
What it has the most to do with is when we have an idea, that is our team communicating. That's our intuition. If we do not take action, it's going to leave. So when we get the idea, and I always say, if you were a puppy, your tail would wag. It's the most exciting idea you've ever had. You can't even sit still. You're going to run in circles. Your heart blossoms. And that is how we co-create and create our worlds and create what we were meant to create. So then we're on a brand new journey of doing that on number one, holding it, trusting it, taking the first step. And then after taking the first step, taking the second step, and then taking the third step and playing with it and getting really excited about it. Not worried about how am I going to make money? How am I going to, I need to do a business plan. I need to, do, none of that. Just like, I love this idea. This is like so exciting. I cannot believe this is my idea. And you kind of, it's like giving birth to a human child. It's private. You kind of keep it in. You speak only to those people that you love and trust. You literally go for a walk in nature and you grow it. really a lot bigger. You very much like you're sitting there with like I said I've never been pregnant, but you sit with the a baby in your stomach and you plan the future for that baby with that baby when you're doing it. And that's what you do. If somebody comes in on the outside, if you choose to discuss your brilliant idea with somebody on the other side, with somebody else, and they go, ah, that's a stupid idea. No, that is that this beautiful being has come forth to help you overcome your reliance on outside affirmation and that you know inside yourself. And so it's not like, how dare you, you don't see me. It's just like, oh, thank you. Thank you for testing that. I need to go out into nature again, and I need to just kind of understand that no, this is my dream. And so that is why, one dream will launch and another one won't. If you, and I know because I've done this many, many, many times, physically done this many times. And when you create a business, it will give you sign if it is not quite right and if it needs tweaking, or if all you are doing is collecting information or data that you are going to need for your really big thing, then that it'll come to an end. You will get another idea. You didn't fail. You were just getting a PhD in something, and you're going to take everything you've ever learned and you're going to move it forward. And so star seeds, a lot of star seeds are, really struggle with this, um, because once a part, it's about the mastery of this, being mastering being on planet Earth.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm just curious that, do you have you ever found through so many, you have so many clients experience and it's like, are there any specific type of star seed would, like for example, like some, I know there were a group of people that said I wanted to open healing center, right? Different sizes, and some were
Yeah.
saying I wanted to do animal shelter and then so is it, does that have to do with specific star family, like the type of mission or the frequency, if you will? And yeah, because I'm just curious that, knowing their strength and perhaps their weakness, that a specific starseed family could support their vision. So maybe you could share what come through about this.
Yeah, so it's one of the reason we're all meant to do, we're building a completely new world, and I think we all know that. We're seeing it. And I'm going to go back because I didn't finish this thought with the 0, 50, and 100. But we have our light, our love, our visions, what we have created. We've gone past 50. We've won. We're fine. The darkness is, going to get, it's going to get, more rumbly, but it is going to back off. It's not going to be as strong as it's been. It'll always be there. It's there to keep us growing and continuing to, create. So, so it's why so many of us came in. It's a reason why so many of us had the permission to come in because we had already developed all these beautiful gifts from all of these planets. And rather than, I like to call them challenges, or woundings, because it's not like, we have to do any, they're part of us. We just need to remember them. We need to find them and remember them. And every one of them has to do with, um, the basis is unconditional self-love, trust, no, trusting yourself, trusting your wisdom, trusting your answers, trusting that you are perfect. You are not flawed. There's nothing wrong with you. You are absolutely perfect And if you did not want this big dream that you have of opening up this huge, healing center with the organic gardens and having all of these beautiful retreats coming in and the animal sanctuary and all of these beautiful dreams or writing your book or whatever it is, the reason, if that was the reason that you want it, is it is already written in your destiny. Otherwise, you would be off on some other direction. But to actually get to, and we're all on our path to our destiny, and we can't get it wrong. We just need to let all of the wounding, we need to leave the wounding behind. And so what the star family wounding does is like, okay, I need to love myself, trust myself, speak my truth, and then I will get closer and closer to it. And we're doing that on behalf of everybody and on behalf of the world at large. There's layers and layers and layers because many of us here know that many of us here have been persecuted over and over and over for standing up, for being a healer, for speaking our truth, for being the wrong gender, for being the wrong whatever, XYZ. And so we're also working on removing that karma. And the reason is because karma created on planet Earth, we have to come back down here to do it. It doesn't have to be a big spooky wookie. You may have layers of persecutions. You may have like a ton of them. But when you get afraid to speak, when you get afraid to not listen to the person on the outside of you, when you get afraid of your own truth, yippee, that's karma. Send it back to the light, take a nap, and know it's done. That doesn't mean that if another spooky wookie comes in that you didn't do it right. It doesn't mean that, oh, I'm never going to get rid of this. I've been working with this since I was little. No, you've just got layers and layers and send it back. Take a nap or go out into nature or, throw some paint on the canvas, whatever you love doing that opens up your heart.
Yeah.
And so everything's working and conspiring for you to be successful.
Mm. Yeah. This is beautiful, and it just feels very encouraging for for this
Right?
journey, right? And I think I I took the quiz, and I think that's a question I have. I spoke with you is that I know there were a period of time, the first few years I was just like all about Pleiadian, and then I move on to Arcturian. I even started to have a lot of
Mhm.
like clients that are Arcturians. And
Right?
then at a certain point, it was like Mintaka come to the awareness, like, all this watery, aquatic, and love ocean, the whales, dolphins, Venus, and also like, and then when we had this session one time, you said it's about Hadrian. And
Mm-hmm.
and I know that, there's different planet, and my quiz result this time is Andromedan. So I'm just
Yep.
very curious, like, because I feel that your quiz provides a different information. So maybe you could just use me as an example, like to share, because people must be thinking, oh, I am always a Palladian. Maybe they come out with result that is, I don't know, something else, another star family.
Yeah, so you're always in motion. You're always, you're always starting, healing, completing, starting, healing, completing, starting, healing, completing. And when you understand what you're healing, sometimes you can increase it like, oh, this is what I'm doing. So what I'm looking at, I'm going to use you as an example. Um, Wow. So you have when you were working through your Pleiadian life, that was about you learning. So as a Pleiadian, the whole planet is just everybody, everybody's soul is just connected. It's one big loving soul. It's this beautiful, loving, supportive, unconditional love from everybody, everything out. We all come in with our unique blueprint as to, what we do every time we show up, wherever we show up, in order, it's just our, our work, it's our specialty. And so you're just, when you were up there, you were just, wonderfully, healing and teaching and leading and communicating, to the whole Starseed family. You came down here, and I'm just going to talk about the Pleiadian star family. And you forgot how to radically unconditionally love yourself because you spent a lot of time loving people who did not love themselves. And so you felt inadequate. You felt unlovable, like you were doing it wrong, like you had to try harder, you had to do more, you had to. And so that was the wounding. And when you completed healing that wounding on, I'm enough, I'm completely enough. And and you put, rather than putting all your love out to the point where you were, so many of us do this, so many of us Pleiadians and Hadrians do this, put way too much love out, and we don't give any to ourselves. So at the end of the day, we're so exhausted. We don't even have the energy to like draw a bath. We're just tired, or we work so hard on behalf of others, we're angry at them. And so the lesson is to just learn unconditional self-love, put yourself first. So you've completed that beautifully. You're a beautiful walking, talking example of it. And I just saw your podcast, and you told that journey in a way so beautifully. I know that's going to heal millions of people who have the gift of being able to witness it. You literally put yourself first. So beautiful. And when that happened, I'm going to say you went into, you had a lot of Arcturian stuff, and your Arcturian stuff is, it's about healing through love. And so what you were learning about it was a little bit more scientific. It was you connecting with planet Earth. That was not that big of a deal for you. You kind of like went pow, 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 and you kind of understood that, like, oh no, when I love myself unconditionally, I can heal. When I love myself unconditionally, I can heal others. I also can hold the energy for them to heal themselves. And that's why you had so many of the Arcturians come in. You mastered that. You mastered that. And then you went into the Andromedas, and they are all about yeah, all of these things. You've always wanted to heal. You've always wanted to leave people in a better place. You've always wanted to teach people how to do it themselves. You've all you've always been a leader. You've always been a beautiful communicator, willing to go out and do what you needed to do. And but you also came in, you are a freedom seeker. You love adventure. There's nothing you love more about, like, I always love you describing it. You like to get yourself all over the world, and you like the world to get itself all over you. You love going to these sacred places and all of these things that have meaning and healing for you, and you live for it. So you then went in to remember that, and then your wounding came in, and it's like, well, who, I don't have the money to do this. What happened? I can't do this by myself. What do you mean? I really want to go. You just climbed Kilimanjaro, right? And I love it because you didn't train for a year. You just like, yep, here I am. That was your Andromeda. You showed up, and and you were able to work through the fear. What if I can't make it? What if I'm not, I didn't do the what I needed to do? We worry about money. We worry about being by ourselves. We worry if this is a right. And you literally just flew past all of that. You are finishing up your Andromeda beautifully. And that doesn't mean you don't get to bring the gifts that you've come with everything forward to the next one. But you are stepping into your Sirian um, Starseed adventure, is I guess is we're going to call it, which is, and that is all about going inward, knowing that all of the wisdom of the planet from the beginning of time and to there's no end to time. From the beginning, the ancient wisdom and the truth and what you've known many, many, many times, and going in and pulling that out. And, oftentimes with our wounding, you've been taught, like, who do you think you are? You're not that special. You haven't been doing that this long. You're too young. You're too pretty. You're not an old man with a turban. Um, and then like having to get outside approval for what you're saying, where you're accessing spiritual truth to actually help. The Syrian starseed family is the one that almost every ascended master has come from and come down. But again, it's about trusting yourself, and it's about just showing up. And it's so you're gonna be healing some of that wounding. And then I'm really looking at your role as a spiritual guide, healer, teacher, inspirer, um, really expanding out is because you're doing the work of removing your challenges so that you can step into your true gifts. That is all we're here to do, each
Yeah.
and every one of you.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you so much. And I wanted to bring this question in, like, because a lot of people who are on this journey, I feel like some just awaken very fast, right? So they don't have a decade, well, yet at this moment to heal. So and then some, I feel like time is not that relevant, right? Because some people could be many years on the spiritual journey, but then maybe because of their soul choice, they choose to go through a specific thing for a longer period of time. So I feel time is not like a defining element, but you are being called to put to really guide, like gather the star seeds, and then to really allow everyone who feel called to receive the gifts, but and also heal through, all these woundings and spooky wooky, as you always say. So, do you want to say something about that? Like, what is your guide?
What I'm being inspired to say is that if you are somebody that feels like you have been on your spiritual path for so long and you feel like you're getting old and you feel like you've lost your opportunity and you feel like it's too late and you feel like I'm never going to get there. I've been doing this for so long. You came in working with your Syrian star family, not the other ones. You chose to do the big chunk up front. And so you're right on schedule. You're fine. I don't care how old you are. I just turned 69. I
Wow.
did not get on this path until, mid 60s or something. I don't even know how long I've been on this path, not that long. And so I'm being really inspired to, just speak to you. You're not getting it wrong. You're not flawed. There's nothing wrong with you. You're in perfect timing. You're in perfect place. You're in perfect. You're going to succeed with what you're doing. You just took on a lot more than most people.
It's so beautiful because I can also almost feel like the resigned, the resignation, or perhaps, sometimes show as a, I don't know, it's not a jealousy, but it's like there's this feeling of like,
Yeah, and like disappointment and
disappointment, yes.
disappointment in like, why, I don't know why I can't do that. And you're doing it.
Mm,
You're doing it.
yeah. Wow. So what does it feel like to work with your guides, with your teams? I feel like people can get a sense already through how you are sharing and your information, your energy, and it's
Yeah, the best way for me to describe it is you kind of get an inclination that excites you, that's your team talking. You have an idea that comes in, you have an expansion in your heart, and that is your intuition. That's how they are talking with you. And if you don't act on that, it'll lessen and lessen because your team will just figure out that you're looking at it as, it's useless. Why bother? They will never give up on you. They will always drop it down. If you want more conversation with them, if you want more activity happening, which we all do, just take a baby step with everything, even if you're scared to death. Grab your shaking guts in your hand and take that first step.
Mm. Yeah. I would say grab someone else's hand as well, like Karen's hand,
Yeah, grab
my
some.
hand,
If
or
you don't
someone
have
else's
another hand,
trust.
if you don't have another hand, just grab your own and or somebody else's and make it fun. One, two, three, jump.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to jump on another call in a couple of minutes. I'm sorry.
No, no, I think I no, I so I just wanted to maybe you could share some final encouragement or wisdom, and then I definitely encourage people. We'll share the link for people to sign up to join the quiz, and there's a free experience workshop as well. They can ask more questions about their Syrian path or Hadrian, Andromedan, Pleiadian, and
Mintonkin,
Arcturian.
yeah, all of them. And yeah, come in. So I'm very excited about this. This work is advanced to the level that it has allowed me to step up so much faster than I was actually climbing. And so if you are kind of throwing your little, Scarlett O'Hara fist up in the air and going, I'm not going to live like this any longer, I'm going to live my truth, come join us. Come join us. I think that it's going to be a wonderful experience. You're going to learn a lot more about you. It's also interesting when you learn about the starseed families because you can look back in your life and you can easily identify all of the challenges that you went through based on what you were learning, what you learned, the epiphany, and then you went on to the next one. What I love about it is it kind of made me, when they showed it to me, I actually I no longer felt vulnerable. I no longer felt like, oh, what am I doing here? I'm just getting knocked around by the wind. And it's like, no, everything is so beautifully orchestrated. And if I am ready to jump on path right now, imagine all I need to do is understand why I'm being challenged with what I'm doing, get rid of it, step on to the next one, overcome those challenges, step on the next one. And I'm so fond of saying this. And many, many years from now, when you step over up into heaven and everybody is celebrating, we will all go angel wing shopping for the biggest angel wings in every color, in every frequency, in every shiny, glittery, everything. You are meant to really just overcome all of this, not only for yourself, for your family lineage, universal universal for your star families, for the rest of the star, the little star seeds here that don't understand as much as you do. And we're just healing. That is how we're bringing peace on earth. We're giving birth to a brand new world.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you so much. It has been such a fun time together. I know you have to jump off, and we'll have
I
another
do have
conversation sometime soon. And thank you.
I'm going to say I do have to jump, but anytime you want to finish the conversation, anytime you want to have another one, call me. I love my time with you. I love my time with you. I'm always available.
Bye. Thank you, Karen.
Mm,
We'll send out the
mm,
replay and the link.
okay. Bye
Bye.
bye. I